Can you guess what I'm going to be showing you in today's video? I think my Leaning Tower of Helm watches is giving it away. Morning guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you both Vano R2s because, well, up to now I featured all the other models that Helm has to offer on I Like Watches, and this is the last model I need to show you. Is it really their best watch, and is it really worth waiting 5 or 6 years for? Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have the answers to those questions. But before I head over to the Lightbox to show you the Vano R2, I'm going to launch a giveaway because in this stack of Helm watches, well, I've got 4 Komodos and 2 Vano R2s. And when I recently reviewed the 4 Komodo watches, I said I was going to give away one of these incredible Helm watches to a lucky subscriber. But I've changed my mind. I'm not going to give away one Helm watch. I'm going to give away 2 Helm watches when this channel reaches 35,000 subscribers. So if you don't want to wait 5 or 6 years for a Komodo or a Vano R2, you better click that subscribe button and add a comment in the comments section to this video because this is the launch video. You may also want to click that bell notifications icon so when I upload the results video, when this channel reaches 35,000 subscribers, you'll watch it within the 30 days that you'll get and then be able to claim one of these incredible watches. So yeah, I will be giving away one of these 6 watches to 2 different people. So 2 different people will be able to pick one of these watches. Yeah, you can have a Komodo or a Vano R2. Fingers crossed this giveaway goes swimmingly. Oh, and I've forgotten to mention, at the time of filming this video, the Grand SEIKO SBGX 263 giveaway is still live. I'll be uploading a results video on the 29th of April. So if you're interested in taking part in that giveaway, head down to the video description where I will put all the instructions. Again, subscriber giveaway, so just click that subscribe button. Right, while I quickly unbox and resize one of these Vano R2s, let me just quickly run through some of the basics, starting with price. So these watches are, I think, the cheapest Helm watches at $285 US plus $30 for shipping, and that is $30 per watch. So when it's your turn to buy a Helm watch, I'm pretty sure you can order as many as you like, but you will be paying an additional $30 per watch, plus import taxes and fees depending on where you live. So the minimum cost for one of these is $315, which I do think represents pretty good value for money, especially when compared to some of their other watches. An H35 inside of this watch, so automatic movement beating at 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds. I mean, it's the SEIKO NH35. What more do I need to say? Oh, and when it's your turn to order the Vano R2, you've got the choice of 2 watches. The only difference I can see is the colour of the date wheel, although you can choose for your watch to come with different coloured nylon straps. They all come with a stainless steel bracelet, but you can choose from a variety of different colours when it comes to the nylon strap. Well, now that I've resized it, I might as well start with a wrist shot. Here is the Helm Vano R2 on my roughly average sized wrist. I knew before ordering it, it was a fairly chunky, substantial diver, which I think most of their watches are. They do offer some titanium options, which are obviously going to reduce the weight of the watches, not the size but the weight, and there are a couple of slightly smaller options as well, the Miyako and the Komodo. I mean, the Komodo is chunky. The Miyako is probably the most refined out of all of their watches. It's a slightly dressier diver, but this is just a big, chunky, beefy diver, but actually it feels quite comfortable. Because there's so much weight in the clasp and the bracelet, all of that weight is being well supported all the way around my wrist. So it is actually very comfortable. Now you may disagree, but I think the Vano R2 is probably Helm's most well-known and well-recognized watch. It's been around a while. There are some reviews of this watch going back 5 or 6 years, and I really don't think it's changed much. I think it's still pretty much the same watch and the same price, which is good to see, because if you're going to be on the waiting list for, well, now 5 or 6 years, you want to know exactly what it is you're ordering. So I don't suspect this watch will really change over the next few years. If you've got a winning formula, why would you change it? So yeah, back when it was launched, everybody went crazy about this watch because I do think, I should say, Helm were offering something really quite unusual. A big, chunky, well-made micro brand diver for a very affordable price. Of course, these days there's a lot more competition for these watches, but they have established themselves in the market as being, well, incredible value, well made, just well known, very resellable watches. So, of course, the waiting lists have just grown and grown. There is a little bit of a Rolex effect going on, I think. People know that they can join the waiting list and, just wait for one of these watches. And then when they eventually get it, if they decide to sell it, they're almost certainly going to get more than their money back. And because people are having to wait so long to get a watch directly from the manufacturer, I have heard of people selling these for twice the retail price. I certainly won't be doing that with the remaining watches. They'll be going on my eBay store, and I'll just be trying to recoup the money that I've spent getting these watches into the UK to review for you guys. So yeah, if you don't end up winning one of these, head over to my eBay store where I will at some point be selling them. But anyway, let's just take a look at the actual watch now, shall we? And well, yeah, I mean, it is a good-looking, chunky diver. I quite like the square and rectangular indices. They're not applied. They are, I think it's just loom printed directly onto the dial, but it looks to be pretty deeply filled on the dial. Interesting hands, a really chunky bezel, a sort of sea urchin bezel to some degree, isn't it? Let's have a little fiddle with the bezel. The previous watches haven't had fantastic bezel actions. What about this one? Oh, it's pretty much the same. It's not that enjoyable. I think Helm need to work on their bezel actions. It's just sort of, I don't know, really, well, not very smooth at all. Quite inconsistent and, just not particularly enjoyable to interact with. But there you go. The alignment's pretty good on the dial and on the, or with the bezel insert, which is far more important. So yeah, I'm thrilled that the bezel alignment on this particular watch is perfect. Steel finishing looks really, really good, although it's all brushed, and so you're not really able to check the quality of the finishing by looking at the contrasting polishing and brushed elements, which is usually where manufacturers sort of fall over when it comes to steel finishing. So with it being fully brushed, it just looks nicely finished. The brushing certainly looks nice and even all over the watch. Bracelet matches the case nicely, as does the buckle or the clasp. It's a nicely finished watch. Really substantial, really chunky, well built watch. I think it's a 300-meter diver. Yeah, 300-meter diver. So you'll have a slightly thicker case and a thicker crystal than you would get on a standard 200-meter diver. Comes with drilled lugs for easy strap and bracelet changes, which is good. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins, a milled clasp, but no double pushers. It's just sort of friction based outer shell. No diver's extension, but plenty of micro adjusts. It was really, really easy to adjust the length of this bracelet, so no issues there. It seems nice enough. The buckle, it's okay. All the details on the watch seem to be nicely done. Screw down case back signed with some specifications. A screw down crown, really grippy, beautifully sort of milled or machined crown. No issues there whatsoever. Nice action as well. Winds in first time every time. So screw down crown, screw down case back. 316L stainless steel throughout. Sapphire crystal. Now I did notice on the specifications that the bezel insert wasn't ceramic, although it looks ceramic to me. According to the specifications, it isn't. Let me just quickly double check that. Yep, as I thought, I've just checked the website and the bezel insert is steel with a PVD coating. It looks so much like ceramic, doesn't it? A brushed ceramic. So yeah, I'm going to have to make sure I check that in the future, because I honestly, without checking the specifications, would have told you that is a ceramic bezel insert. But it does look good regardless of what it's made of. And I don't doubt for 1 second it will last. I don't think that will scratch up too easy. Right, let's check out the loom. Well, the initial loom burst is pretty impressive, isn't it? And there's a couple of different colours. You've got blue BGW9 and a slightly different colour on those very small dots between the hour markers and the bezel. But the loom does look impressive, in particular, actually, on the hands. So let's let that run down for 5 minutes and see how much it degrades. Well, 5 minutes is up and the loom is still very visible, and in particular on the hands. So yeah, that is an impressive loom display. So is this watch or any other Helm watch worth waiting 5 or 6 years for? Well, I think that depends. If you're not a watch enthusiast, if you're not a collector and you're just looking to buy a watch to wear every day, well then no, why would you wait 5 or 6 years for one of these? You'd just go and pick up something else from your local jewelers. But if you are a watch enthusiast and you tend to buy watches fairly regularly, then yeah, why not put your name down on the waiting list? I'm sure that time will go by pretty quickly, and before you know it, they'll be emailing you saying it's your turn to order one of these watches. And I think you'll be fairly pleased with them when they arrive. I think they do represent reasonable value for money. I do think they were probably better value for money and more interesting when they first came out. But like I've said already, these days, there's a lot more competition, a lot more very capable micro brands producing, for me anyway, better, more affordable divers that are readily available immediately. So yeah, it was nice to get all 4 Helm watches in. Yeah, they're nice enough, but I don't think they're perhaps as special as people may think, given the length of the waiting lists. But anyway, don't forget, guys, if you want to get one for free, take part in my giveaway. Yeah, I'm giving a couple away very, very soon. Well, when the channel reaches 35,000 subscribers.